Top of the morning, gang. It is your boy Joe Tang. You're watching Cup of Joe, episode number 27. Damn, 27 episodes. No, I'm still here. Loving every single moment of it. By the way, for all you aesthetically obsessed individuals out there, I know this yellow shirt and this orange background don't really mesh, but it is what it is. Happy Friday. I think today is, let me get my dates correct. Happy Friday, April 24th. Hope you guys are doing super well. Really excited about the show today. This guy, I'm meeting a lot of my people from TikTok. And by the way, real quick note on this show. Hey guy, I see you. You're in the backstage. Good morning. I'll pull you up in a second. Real quick note about these shows. So I'm going into these interviews pretty cold, and I had a comment from a really good friend. He's like a brother to me, who said that there's something interesting about going into interviews without doing a lot of your research on the individuals. And I think it is. I think it makes the conversations more authentic, and that's exactly the feel I want. Every time I invite people to these shows, I tell them, like, as far as guests, I tell them, like, just imagine us meeting for the first time at the coffee shop, and that's what I want the feel of these vibes to be. So the value that I hope that you're getting from this is, number one, my energy's through the roof when I make these shows. Number two, I know that the people I'm bringing on are doing amazing things with whatever they're up to. And I just want to share the positive vibes, especially during these times of the COVID-19. So hope you guys are doing super well, staying healthy. I'm getting ready to pull Guy up. Let's tell him good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my man. Good morning. Uh-oh. Are you still there? Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Awesome.
You hear me?
Are you getting ready to serenade us with
I'm not hearing you, boss. Let me see if I can fix that. Doesn't work?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
I'm still not hearing you. I heard you before when I was on, and I can't hear you now. Hold on a second. Should I leave and come back, or how does it work?
Let's see. Yeah, I would sign off and then sign back on. Let's see if that works.
You know what? I'm going to do something different here. Shoot, I don't have my other headphones for this. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. Listen, let me try to make a quick fix to this because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Hold on.
You're good. You're good. Everyone who's watching out there, please, let's pull them off. All right, everyone who's watching, do me a huge favor. You know, throughout these conversations, let me see who's in the comments, by the way. What's up, Mom? What's up, Jessica?
No.
All right, are you back? Can you hear me?
Did that work? Nope. All right, so we just got to do it this way. All right, no problem. That's the way it goes. All right, let's see here. Can you talk for me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Ah, man, you're not coming through. Is there a way for me to go out and you call me back in? Yeah.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Okay. Sorry, folks, for people waiting. I'll play some nice background music if you can hear me. Joey, can you talk for me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Nothing. I'm not hearing nothing.
All right, give us 1 second. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna leave and you re-invite me. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That way.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back. Yo. Hey. Okay, cool. Yeah. Works. All right, late. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. So he was hearing me, and then for whatever reason, like the sound got cut off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him give me his phone number. He's gonna call me. We can hear him clearly. So he's just gonna have to hear me through this. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Beautiful songwriter, musician. So I can't wait for him to play, and getting ready to call him right now. If you're out there, let me know. Hey, guy, let me send you the link. That link that I sent you. Go ahead and click that link and come back on because we can hear you, and I can hear you clearly now if you can hear me. I'll resend it to you too. So yeah, I can hear you. As long as you can hear me, we're good. We can chat like this, and everybody can hear you on the Facebook and YouTubes. I'm resending you the link right now, unless you have it. Everybody who's on Facebook and YouTube, I appreciate you guys' patience. This is totally my fault. Yeah, it's technology. Let's blame technology. I like that better. I just sent it through Facebook. Correct. We got some of my people on. Jessica Joseph. She's a musician as well, an artist, and she's super excited. When you were playing, she was like she loves it. So really excited to have you on. All right, sounds good. All right. So look, one of the things while we're waiting for Guy to come on is I'm going into these interviews cold, and right now it's a grind trying to find guests and like live my life at the same time. So bear with me with all these like little glitches and technical difficulties. Trust me, if you guys hang out for a little bit, there's gonna be some value as far as like, all right, here he goes. But look, I'm still trying to get better as an interviewer. So if I miss questions, please make sure that you drop them in the comments so I can ask Guy whenever, or any of my guests when they're on. I just hate to miss some things. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Amazing. Let's go.
All right. You good on your end? You getting any echo?
No, we're good. We're good. So Guy, real quick, so everybody knows who's on right now. Give like a quick little intro about you, and then I know you're gonna serenade us with some of your beautiful music.
All right. Well, I am. I guess first and foremost, I'm a dad. I'm an American. I live in Germany. I've been here, I guess, 14 and a half years now. And I've got 2 kids. I've got a 7-year-old girl and I got a 3-year-old boy. And my wife and I, we've been together for a minute now. We're coming up on 9 years.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah. And I've been here for a long time. I grew up in Arlington, Virginia, just outside of DC. And that was a really, I didn't know it at the time, but a very unique place to grow up. And then I was in Philadelphia for, I guess, around 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, but around 5-6 years, something like that. I went to school at a place called St. Joseph's University, and I studied painting, drawing, and philosophy.
That's awesome.
And then my brother, I got 2 brothers. One of them is still back in the States. The other one, well, he's actually also temporarily back in the States. But the other one, he married a German woman. They met in Trenton, New Jersey, of all places. And if any of y'all know about Trenton, New Jersey, it's not a place where you're just going to up and meet the love of your life. Yeah. Unless you do, of course. My parents met there, but it was before it was like now Trenton. Right. And they were together. They got homesick. Or she got homesick, so they moved to Germany. And he called me up in 2005, and he said, "Hey, you want to move to Germany?" And I was like, "Sure," and we did. And that's and
14 years. Yeah,
man.
Wow. How's everything going with the whole COVID-19 where you're at?
I mean, it's everybody's struggling. You know, businesses are struggling, people are struggling. Kindergartens are all shut. Schools are shut. Apparently on Monday, some other businesses are going to be able to get to open again, but under sort of strict protocols. So for example, my local guitar shop, BTM Guitars, I just found out they get to open up again, but I think they've got some kind of policy. Only so many people can be in the shop at a certain time. And it's not like your general, you know, your normal guitar store experience. If you're a musician, you just get to go and chill and hang out and play some stuff and try. You know, it's we're all learning, we're all adjusting. Playgrounds are shut. You know, you can't no concerts. you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my whole thing from the onset has been I kind of got prepared for this accidentally in December. I didn't mean to, but I made myself a really stupid schedule in the fall and winter. I had a slow spring and summer last year, and people called me. They're like, "Hey, can you do this?" I was like, "Yes." Do you want to? Yes. Could you? Yes.
Just booking back to back.
Everything. I said, yes. Everything. because in my stupid brain, I'm like, it's far away from now. Of course you can do it all.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, for those of you who haven't, like, if you're going to have children someday and you're not the person actually having the child, you don't understand. You don't really know that the baby's there until the baby's there. The person carrying the baby knows. They feel it. It's kicking, it's punching. Like, you might feel the belly from here and there, but you don't know. And then it gets there. It's like, oh. So that's what goes on there in my. So that's what happened with my scheduling. I was like, I can do, yes. So I had this crazy schedule, and then I flew to America. Like, I was gigging until the day I flew home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when a car comes to a complete stop, your brain keeps going, and you've got nothing to do. I had no gigs. I had no work. I just had to chill. It took me 2 weeks to chill out.
Man.
And so, like, COVID happened. I saw this happen to, like, all of my friends, like people I know, people I don't know. And I was like, all right, I know how to switch to this gear. So for me personally, I was kind of like, all right, I know what I need to do. Focus on what I can control. And the first thing in my mind was to do a live children's show.
Amazing.
And my bassist and we started a kids show, and that's what I've been doing.
Where are you guys holding the show?
I lost your audio again. Dang, that's a pain.
Yeah, it cut out.
Man, I wonder if I must be doing something silly here.
Give us one.
Hold on, let me see if this works. If I hear you through these headphones.
Having some technical.
Can you talk to me?
Yeah, I'm talking right now.
Nah, it ain't working. Damn. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss in your show. I wish there was a way to chat here so I could just see the questions.
I'm chatting. I'm trying to chat with them right now.
Man. Let's try that again. No.
Give us one second, YouTube and Facebook. Give us 1 second.
You want to try it one more time?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. So as this goes, technology having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but my man is awesome. Plus I think I'm trying to DM him so he could see me. We're trying to message back and forth, but let me see if I can text him real quick. In the meantime, based on what you heard, do you have any questions for myself or him? Please drop them in the comments. Debbie, hey, what's going on? He is awesome, Debbie. Bella, I see you out there. What's going on? Chris, what's going on? Happy Friday. Jessica, thanks for being on here. Stay patient with us. Let me put some background music for us real quick while we try to figure this out. Sit tight. Here we go. Can you hear me?
Say something. Yes.
Awesome. Hey, there is.
I'm so sorry for whatever is happening.
You're good. You're good. I was just telling them it's technology. It's the name of the game. Hey, look, here's the thing. Let me just keep you updated with this. So there is a private chat in here. I think the best thing we can do if the connection goes wonky is just sign off and sign back on.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds
so
cool.
we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right.
No worries. So you stopped. You were saying that you started a children's show, and I was trying to figure out where where's that show being held at? It's right a virtual show?
Right here in Another Mother Studios. Here, I'll give you the tour.
Yes, we want a tour.
It's kind of jacked looking right now, but
I'm gonna pull my
backpack on a couch. That's the microphone we use for everything. Those are our instruments and lights, and we do it all right here.
Sweet. And what platforms are you hosting the show on?
Currently Facebook and YouTube, because right now, like I'm sort of the like, all right, let's just do it and go type of person. So I talked to Freddie.
Welcome to my life.
Right. So I was like, hey, Freddie, let's do this thing. And he's like, okay. And that Freddie's my bassist and my very good friend. And then we started, like, the first show was cell phone in, you know, like portrait mode.
Yeah.
And then we figured out, I think, how to use GoPros. And then a friend of mine who's a tech dude at a production company was like, just do this. And he made it look a little bit better and helped us with some software. And I'm using something called vMix, which is an equivalent to OBS Studio, which a lot of people who do live stuff might be familiar with.
Yeah.
And that I stream out to a service, an online service, which can send it to multiple platforms. And at the moment, I'm doing Facebook and YouTube. There's probably more I could or should be doing. But you do a production show and I'm like, oh, this is why there are like 20 people on a TV show. You do a different job because Freddie's not a tech guy. and I'm a competent tech guy for an idiot. Like, so if that makes any sense. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yo, so I appreciate that share because it makes me feel comfortable with this show. This is episode number 27, and I tell you right now that I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Hence my last minute reach out. So you definitely stuff like this. I think I'm not performing at your level, right? But I think any kind of production. Can you hear me? By the way,
I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Gotcha. Is everybody on Facebook and YouTube hearing us clearly? I just want to make sure everybody can hear us. But anyway, I don't have a team, so like trying to manage the reach outs to trying to manage the production takes a lot. And I think I'm pretty technically savvy, but not to the caliber of like trying to manage all this that goes on a regular basis. But I feel you on that. I feel you.
Yeah, we were doing it 6 days a week. We did 6 shows a week for about 4.5 weeks. And that was because our initial goal was to go to the 19th of April because that was the initial quarantine phase. And we were like, okay, maybe things will go back to normal. It became pretty clear fairly quickly things weren't going back to normal. But like, again, we just threw ourselves into it. And by the Saturday, their 27th day, I was like, man, I'm tired. Like, I'm beat. Like, I'm beat because we were doing 2 shows a day. We were doing a German show and an English show. So I was only going to take a couple days off, but Freddie and I talked. I'm like, I'm taking a week off. So we're starting season 2 next week, and we're doing the live is going to be all in English, and we're going to do like a dress rehearsal before the live show in German, so we can just throw that up in its own playlist on, the respective platforms. But yeah, man, it's a lot. Like,
it is a lot. Respect to what you have going on. Sounds super exciting. I'm going to give you a chance towards the end of our conversation to share like more details on where people can find, especially people with children, like they can find your concert.
Well, can I flip the script for a second?
Sure.
I had become aware of you through a person that I believe we mutually follow on TikTok.
Right.
Ida Mama.
Yep.
And who's just like who I just love to death. And you like I'd seen your stuff, and you're just clearly a very feel-good guy. What motivated you to do your show?
A couple of things, man. I've I started off putting sharing my story out into the world with YouTube back in 2016, and I was doing a daily vlog. And really, what inspired that was a guy by the name of Gary Vee. Yep.
That's my dude.
He made me realize that, especially in the modern day of technology, building your personal brand is something that's really it's adamant if you're trying to, whether you're trying to promote something or sell something or whatever you're trying to do out in the world, like sharing your story is really important. And so I started a daily blog. I did that for a year, like really 2 years on and off. And then I stopped that. My girlfriend had our twins. We have a boy and a girl. They're 16 months old. And
God bless you. That's wonderful.
yeah,
Got
absolutely.
twins. Oh my
Twins
God.
at the same
Oh,
time. Hence why I reached out to you one minute after
much
this.
love to you both. That, oh man,
Yeah. So
it's twice the love, but it's also twice the diapers.
yo,
It's
for real. Speaking of diapers, after the show, I have to go run and go get some because we're out. But yeah, it's
dude, Amazon, do the Amazon
oh
subscription.
yeah. You
Say
know what?
and they drop it on your door.
We keep hearing it and just haven't done it yet. But that's a great recommendation. I need to look into that.
That and the wet wipes. Like I think they got like a diaper. My son just got out of diapers a couple months ago. So it was funny. Like just as my daughter was basically getting out of her, like totally out of diapers, no problems. My son was born, so we were back in. So we had a few months free.
Yeah.
And then we were back into it again. But like getting the diapers and the wet wipes dropped off, that's the truth.
It is. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have that conversation with Courtney today, so we can make that happen because the diapers and the wet wipes are intense. Anyways, to fast forward, long story short.
Sorry.
With the show, so Gary V during this whole COVID-19, and let me back up a little bit more. I've been thinking about ways to relaunch my vlog, but I just haven't figured out the time to really like sit back and like edit my videos because it takes me anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to really like condense my entire day down into like a 6-minute video, right? So I was like, you know what? I don't have the bandwidth or the time to do it. So how can I get my message out there and do something different to continue to bring value to the world and share my story in my own unique way? So Gary launched a show called Tea Time with Gary V, where he was doing these virtual calls and like answering questions from his audience. And I was like, you know what? That's a smart idea because while I don't have a huge audience to like do Q&A with, what I do love to do is I'm naturally always out networking with people out in the world who are doing like awesome things. Let me try to create a show around our conversation, make it just like literally like a cup of Joe, like we're at a coffee shop talk, and people can watch me network with cool, awesome people like yourself. And so, boom, here I am, episode number 27. Still some kinks in the world, still some kinks in this whole development, but I'm loving every second of it.
But you're doing it, like
yeah,
you're
absolutely.
doing it.
Yeah.
Fred. So after every one of our shows, Freddie and I we do a podcast.
Nice.
And so we just do like a post game, and the goal is to sort of like talk about what went right, what went wrong with the show, and we might talk about anything. But especially as like I'm very used to failure.
Man,
I'm a musician.
Yeah.
Like I've done, I play on stages, I play on street corners. Like I do it all. And I became a full-time musician fairly late in my life compared to a lot of people who pursued this path. And I didn't start doing street music until I came to Europe when, there were times I was struggling and like, it would help keep the lights on, certain months. And when when you get used to people like yelling at you and screaming at you and maybe throwing things at you, like a technical glitch in an app doesn't hurt you feeling so bad.
Right. Absolutely. When did you start? If you shared this, I apologize, but when did you start? You said late than a lot of people would start. When did you start playing music?
Well, I started playing music a long time ago. I didn't decide to go full time until about 3 and that. Well, how old was my son? When I found out we were pregnant with my son, like I had quit my job. We had planned to move back to the United States, right?
Yeah.
Because I said to my wife, I was like, yo, we're looking at a 9 to 12 month process to get your green card. I wasn't making a whole lot of money doing what I was doing, teaching English. Good company, nice bosses, wonderful clients, but it wasn't the money wasn't coming in for the hours I was putting in.
Right.
And I said to my wife, I can make at least this much playing on the street. We'll do this until we move back home, and I'll figure something out. When we set something that gives me time to set something up in America, and then a couple months later, I found out we were pregnant. And by we, I mean she was pregnant. I didn't.
Yes, that clarification is necessary.
I don't want anybody to think I'm disrespecting my wife. She did all of the heavy lifting when it comes to this.
Right.
I gave the assist. That's about that. I held her hand in the delivery room and all that good stuff, and did the foot rubbing thing. But
all the women and ladies out there, and mothers out there, like, bless you, like you guys are amazing. Yeah. That's an understatement.
Or they're like, you bet. I hope you rub those feet.
Yeah.
By the way, to anybody who's pregnant, you can just call for foot rubs on command, even from people you don't know very well. I just want to say that if this is the first time you're pregnant, you can be like, hey, like Susan, Jackie, like the dogs are hurting. Could you? And who's gonna say no? Right?
Right.
Who's gonna say no?
Right.
But yeah, so as you know yourself, the cost of having children in America is thousands, and the cost of having children here is not. It's zero. You don't pay anything. So we opted to have the baby here, and with the way certain things were developing in America, finding a job where I would have been moving back to would have been the Northern Virginia area, which is an incredibly expensive marketplace. And I don't know what I would have been able to do. Anything I would have done for work would have been like probably something I didn't want to do to get the money that we would have needed to live in that area to be close to my parents.
Makes sense.
I can play music, or at least up until now, I can be a full-time musician with supporting a bunch of my life with some English lessons on the side as my side hustle. And it wouldn't have been that, I don't know how possible or how easy that would have been to do back in the States. Yeah.
Well, dude, I respect your journey for sure. Definitely a grind from what it seems like, but at the end of the day, like, I think the decisions you made have been best for yourself and your happiness and your family, man. And I respect it so much. And I really love what you said about like the whole adversity. I can get into that talk for days, but also how you're just a guy who, once you make a decision, like, you jump into it and you're going to figure it out. So I really respect that.
I think there's a lot to be said for just following through on a thing. Like, and this, don't misunderstand. Gary Vee talks a lot lately about the strength of changing your mind, 100%. But or maybe not, but ends. If you make a commitment, this is something I want to show my kids. Like, it's fine to change your mind, but if you sign up for the season, you're finishing the season. If you had 10 lessons for the whatever it is, you're doing all 10 of the lessons, right? I don't mind that, but I think it's important to follow through on whatever, and some of this is about intelligently setting goals.
Yes.
Right. With the show, for example, we set 28 days, which ended up being 56 shows. Might have been a little bit much, but we got through it, and there was a lot of work that had to be done, and I'm happy we did it. And I'd rather have 56 imperfect shows in a span of 4.5 weeks than 2 perfect shows.
Makes sense. That's cool, man. There's so many questions I have for you, but I want to segue into the wooden box in your hand. And yes. I know you're playing something before we got started. So I just wanted to, for the audience out there, this is my way of saying thank you. I was going to have a guy here serenade you with this beautiful, lovely tune, and then we'll jump back into the conversation. So if you're down for that, I really would appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm gonna hop off the screen, let you do your thing, and I'll hop back on once you stop.
Stay on the screen unless you got stuff to do. If you got daddy stuff to do it.
No, I don't. I just wanted you to be just.
I like the company. All right, this is a song I wrote shortly after I found out we were gonna have our second child. It's called "The Two of You." I wrote this while I was on a mountain in Austria. been about a day and a half since I saw you last. I didn't think sunset tunes might not do what it did to me, and I don't want to get used to it. Won't you jump on a bird? I can give you that good squeeze. Whoa, whoa. Did a man laugh when she saw my face? She's looking at me from the photograph. Did you say, Papa, I miss you for biscuit when you come home? Won't you jump on the bird and pop me? I can give you that good squeeze and oh, I know I'm gonna hold your hand. Gonna feel like a new man, gonna stand next to you. Kiss you belly for some good luck and whoa, 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 I'm gonna spin around till she makes that funny sound that she always do. I love every second I spend with the two of you. Little box in my pocket, your time's tick-tocking, you call it up and whisper in my ear. Do you think that it's gonna be a he or another she? Either way, what we gonna be singing this time? Won't you jump on the plane and fly to me? I can give you that good squeeze and oh Lord, I'm gonna hold your hand. Gonna feel like a new man, gonna stand next to you. Kiss your belly for some good luck and whoa, I'm gonna spin around till she makes that funny sound like she always do. I love every second I spend with the two of you. 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 With the two of you.
That was amazing, brother. What's the name of that? What'd you title that?
The two of you.
The two of you? Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I thought you would have titled it Squeeze or something like that, but the two of you, I love it, man. That's beautiful. I need that song because that's perfect for my twins.
But I recorded it in last year in London, and my producer and I were figuring that out. That should be on Spotify, I'm hoping within a week. And I'll tell you as soon as it is.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. That was lovely. What I know, I was reading your bio on Instagram around this, trying to get a feel of like who you were. And one thing you said was,
I need to update that. I've been, man, I live on TikTok. TikTok is my home.
And that's how we found each other. Which, you know what?
Yeah.
This is a good moment for me to share with the audience, like how I even came across you. So like he said, we have a mutual friend that that's following us on TikTok. I made a video reaching out to the community saying, yo, if you guys have anybody who's doing amazing things with their personal brand, like send them my way. And so she tagged Guy here, and that's how we got in touch. But I went into this gentleman's live a couple of days ago, and he was doing his music thing. And what you don't know about me, Guy, is my girlfriend and I, she put me on the movie. Are you familiar with the movie Eat, Pray, Love?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I know it's a book and a movie.
It's a book and a movie. So I read the book, and then we watched the movie together, and we really got into Brazilian jazz. And so when I hopped on your live, and I just felt like the soul coming from your sounds, I was like, man, I really love what you're up to, man. So,
thank you. I think I was I doing un poquito cantas then? Is that
you were? Yeah, you were.
Right.
So I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. So, really appreciate the work that you're doing, man.
Thanks, man. Like it's funny because TikTok, like I don't even really be doing a lot of music on TikTok. I pepper it in on my TikToks. TikTok is my playground. Like it is where I can go from idea to existing for whatever it is. And I do most of my music on TikTok in my lives because this, believe it or not, I am like people who know me won't believe this, but I am either a very introverted extrovert or a very extroverted introvert.
Same here.
And yeah, so like I'm really, if I'm going out, back in the days when we could go out, when I'm going out, I'm working. I got this. It is both my axe and it is my shield, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Like so that you know, going out just to hang out, that's deeply uncomfortable for me. It's a very uncomfortable thing. So on live, I was, you know, I had done live a little bit on Instagram back when I was like more involved in Instagram, but I started doing live with a bit more regularity on TikTok and just getting comfortable with it. And it was just sort of like a nice way to play and groove instead of just like sit there and be like, hey, you want to talk about something? You know what I mean? Oh, sorry about that. So
you're good. You're good. It's
so,
funny. It's funny you say that because I'm the same way like you. And when I go live on TikTok or any of these platforms, I need that engagement, right? So you're obviously engaged with your guitar and like, you know, your music. And for me, I don't have a talent like that. So what I tried to do was, and you should do this too. I think it'll be fun for your audience. Is I create a Google Voice number, and I started telling people to reach out to me, and I'll just talk, and I'll meet people. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so it now the dynamic of my lives, like everybody appreciates it because they get to hear who's behind the username, and so
oh man, I have to holler at you how you do that because I'm cool playing guitar and going through questions, but like, and not that my lives are like super popping, but if you get these flurries,
absolutely, yeah, right. I lost your audio. Can you hear me? All right, 1 second, Facebook and YouTube. Let's go to the private chat. Find the private chat if you can hear me. I can hear you. All right, guys, what questions do you have for Guy? That's amazing. It's funny just how all this works. Beautiful soul. I really do love what I'm not even sure. That's why I want to ask him like what the genre is called because he said he was an intergalactic on his account. Let me see where it's at. Hold on 1 second. Intergalactic performer. So I want to. Oh, here he is. All right, can you hear me? I can't hear you, Guy. I still can't hear you. Let's go to the private chat. Or actually, you know what? Try to sign out and then come back in one more time. All right. Anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today's been just a little wacky with the technology, but I hope you guys are enjoying the show. For people in the post, as you can see, this has been, you know, what's cool about watching this in the post is that you can skip through the timeline and kind of follow the conversation that way, both on YouTube and Facebook. But I want to know how you guys are doing out there in the world. If you guys are loving this show, you guys have been staying here the entire time. Number one, I appreciate you guys. Number two, what questions do you have for my man Guy while we're trying to get him situated here on the show? Please drop your questions, your comments below. Also, when you guys like leave comments, like Misty has been showing some love, Jessica's been showing some love. I'm doing my best to try to feature your comments on the screen, and so that's a cool way to get a quick plug or a shout out on who you are is by leaving engagement. Plus, I just get fuel. I get a lot of fuel from interacting with you guys. So. By the way, while we're waiting for Guy, let me make sure you guys understand like how to find him because he's on TikTok. I'm gonna put it on here as a banner so you guys can check him out. So follow Guy, and then his handle is Guy Palumbo. So follow him. Add that banner down below. Follow him. Like he said, he's really active on that platform, and he goes live and he does exactly what he just did a few minutes ago. Guy is back on. Let's see if it's working. Yes, working. I can hear you.
Yo, so I don't know if this happens to you. I put my do not disturb on. I put like car mode on, but calls are still coming through and they interrupt the stream. And then it happens. It kills the audio. So,
you know what's funny is that happens to me all the time. Like I'm using this laptop and I get texts and I get phone calls as well, and that like people hear it all the time, and I just don't know how to. I haven't learned how to turn that off yet on my Mac, so I totally get it.
All right. Well, my apologies.
No, you're good. You're good, bro. Trust me. We're at a coffee shop, and everybody who's rubbernecking, hopefully they're enjoying their time as well. So no worries. Okay, so yeah. I was trying to think too. I was trying to think where we left off. Oh yeah, I was asking you a question about your music. So you were saying that you need to update your Instagram, and I had a question about what an intergalactic performer is.
It's just something I said.
But it had to come from somewhere, though.
I sometimes things just happen in my brain, and I remove the filter and I let them go out.
That's the best answer you could have given. I love that. It just goes to show you how like-minded we are. Literally, that's how I am. Like I just let it flow, and it is what it is. What would you? How would you define your genre?
I guess I would say I'm a singer-songwriter who integrates fingerstyle guitar into my songs. There's a subgenre of acoustic guitar music called fingerstyle guitar, and you might have noticed I'm doing a little bit of percussion while I'm playing.
Yeah.
And there are people in the world who are unbelievable at doing that. They can play bass lines and melodies and the percussion all at the same time. Some of them sing. There's a guy named John Gum, who's one of the first people, who was the first person I ever saw doing this stuff live. Actually, that's kind of not true. I saw Khaki King in 2003 before she became big in our world.
Right.
There's, my mentor and friend, Thomas Leb. He's an Austrian, and he does instrumental music, but it is straight like groove. He's this dude from the mountains in Austria, studied West African polyrhythms in school, like from this Ghanaian master, and he's got his own world that he does. Another Russian guy that I know named Alexander Misko is just like, if anybody out there types in any of these names, Alexander Misko, John, Jon, Gum, or Thomas Leb, and see anything they do, you'll be like, what is happening? You have to kind of appreciate, I guess, instrumental music.
Yeah.
But I was fascinated by it, that one human can produce that much sound.
It's amazing.
And I'm not a master by any means when it comes to that stuff, but I do, when the occasion calls for it, try to integrate it into the music.
Gotcha. I have questions about like your journey as far as music's concerned, but I want to touch on something. You mentioned West Africa from John. You said your mentor, like someone who you look up to.
Thomas Leb, yeah.
Thomas. So a lot of inspiration from West African culture, correct?
Yeah.
What's cool is my family, I'm first generation Cameroonian, which is in West Africa.
Okay.
And yeah. So I really appreciate that. One of my good friends who's here in Indiana with me, he actually put me on an artist whose name is Fela Kuti.
I know Fela. Fela Kuti's dope. Yeah, man.
Awesome. So what I'm learning about Fela is that a lot of the Brazilian jazz is inspired by his work. A lot of music, a lot of different genres are inspired by the work he's done. Now, I don't have a lot of context to how much influence he's had, but I just know that his name pops up with people like yourself who he's in the conversation.
Listen, of course. I mean, listen, lots of people are in the conversation. Here's the thing: I find the best musicians don't just listen to music within their genre, right?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So Thomas is an acoustic guitar player, but a lot of what he pulled from was this was this like percussive orchestral arrangement, not an orchestral arrangement, but this percussive music from West Africa.
Right.
And he mixed that with his guitar. When you look at art, any of the arts, be it, if we look at jazz, the way that jazz and visual art played with each other in the early part of the 20th century, what was happening, how visual art and music art were bouncing that way. If you look at a plate of food, if you eat a plate of Ethiopian food, you're tasting India. You're tasting spices that are from the coast of the more southern parts of Eastern Africa, that for hundreds or God knows thousands of years of people trading on boats and hopping from city to city, or right.
You're back, guy. You're back.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Is that better?
Good. Yeah, you're back. You're back. So you were talking about food and dishes and how you're gonna get samples from different countries and how artists.
Yeah, like I mean, I generally put all this into the context of art, because that is, music and art is my truth. Other people, it's going to be sports. Other people, it's going to be business. Though I think if you talk to certain athletes, how music helps them with their workout pattern, or possibly ideas they have for plays or moves that they do, I think music is probably very much integrated in that. But to come back to Fela Kuti, right? And the influence that one person can have on an entire country. It's fascinating.
Yes.
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like take the banjo, right? A lot of people would look at the banjo, and culturally, if they had to define who plays that instrument the most, let me ask you, what genres do you think in your ear have the banjo in them?
I think Spanish, a lot of Spanish culture.
Spanish culture, okay. Any other genres in America that you think have the banjo that you would associate with?
I'm probably gonna think about it later on, but off the top of my mind, it's not coming. It's not coming.
That's fine. A lot of people would associate it with country.
Oh, country, yeah, duh, there it is. Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Old time music, bluegrass, right? And which are genres that are typically full of a lot of white artists.
Yeah, sure.
The banjo itself is about, its roots are as African as it gets, right? The banjo comes very much from West Africa. There are a whole lot of banjo-like instruments that you can find, over 60 of them, between Mali, Nigeria, the Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, many of them. But that is an instrument that somehow, well, not somehow, like it people were taken from Africa, and people decided in a horrible way it was created for minstrel shows.
Mm-hmm.
And that integrated itself into certain types of music. Now it's an integral part of Irish music, right? And the picking patterns, there are two types of picking patterns that we use with banjos. One of them is called Earl Scruggs, where people pick in the way, and the other one's called claw hammer, where you pick out the way.
Wow.
And you'll still find people, like, that technique comes from Africa. It's an African technique. So this is what I'm talking about, how the impact an instrument or a person, like, I'm fascinated by it. I love it so much.
So I'm going to share something with you, because, it's kind of, and I don't know, like, don't feel bad. No one out there I don't want to make this weird, but like, I'm first generation Marine, had no idea about what you just said. And I'm kind of embarrassed about it. You know what I mean? But here's the thing I want to say is that's why I appreciate these kind of conversations, because you learn something new every day. I knew a lot of roots come from Africa, of like from art and like music and things of that nature. But art history is starting to become something that I'm really starting to appreciate right now at this age. And so like the fact that you just shared that with me makes me want to go back and like do some homework and really research it because it's really interesting stuff. That's so fascinating what you just shared.
Yeah, I like you find out things like that, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That comes from Africa,
Yeah.
and it does, and I love that. Since you're Cameroonian, by the way, there's a visual artist that you might want to reach out to. His name, I'm going to say this incorrectly, and I apologize.
You're cool.
Ajani Okupu Eje, I think is how it's pronounced.
That sounds good.
ADJANI. I actually met him at the Tate Museum in England. He's a painter. He's fantastic.
I'll DM you so I can get that name again.
Yeah, for sure. So just a Cameroon. I believe he splits his time between England and Los Angeles.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And how do you know this person?
I was teaching an English class, ironically, in England to a bunch of Germans. And my family was with me, and we went to the Tate Modern, and I was walking through their I forget which section it was, but there was a lot of African art in this particular section, and there was this gentleman, and there was this beautiful piece, and he asked me if I could take a picture of him in front of him. I said, yeah, for sure, and I took a few, and we got to talking. Exchanged information, hooked up on Facebook, and I every once in a while I reach out to him, but I found out he's a pretty big deal artist.
That's cool.
He's good. He's really good.
That's awesome. I'm gonna definitely reach out to you and get that name and just see what he's up to, especially since he's in Cameroon. That's what's up. So my guy, here's my question for you. What's on your mind? What's your end goal when it comes to music? And maybe not the end goal is not the right question. What's the next milestone for you?
I mean, right now I'm all in on this kids show that we're doing. We're doing this kids show, but to explain to you how I came to that, like it's funny. I don't have designs to be like famous and performing in stadiums, though I would love to perform in a stadium. That would be like that's on the bucket list. Let's not get it twisted. But what I do, who I am, I don't write pop songs. Maybe I could accidentally, but it's sort of not. A lot of my music's about my family or what's on my mind. I got a couple of political songs. I got a couple of songs about being, an immigrant. But I got a lot of like lullabies because I got to get those kids to sleep. Like some music has come out of necessity. So my children and being a fatherhood has really taken over my musical journey. When my daughter was in what we call Krippe in Germany, and then in kindergarten,
you call it
pre-K is called Krippe.
Krippe.
When they're in Krippe, and then when they're about 3 or 3.5, they're eligible to go into kindergarten. I was doing, classes for my daughter's Krippe and for kindergarten, and I was teaching her class, and then they asked me to teach her whole school, and it was the most fun some of the most fun I've ever had. That when your kids, I'm guessing they're talking a little bit now, right?
They're saying some words for sure. Mm-hmm.
So the next year and a half, 2 years, she was going to be a lot of fun because you're in what I call minion stage. Like they talk like especially if they're learning multiple languages, but it's just like it's like if R2D2 and a minion had a baby. That's what happens. That's what having children at this age sort of sounds like, right? And having that opportunity to do these things with these kids because they're so sweet, right? Like they're so sweet. That age, the 3 to 6-year-old range, they're wonderful. And like you don't have not that they're like bad. I mean, there are some bad kids, but like at that age, everything is course correctable. And it's a lot about sort of managing the time in the room and the situation and structuring things. So I learned a lot about doing that. I had so much fun doing that. Right. And then I met my friend Freddie, who plays bass with me, and he plays upright bass. That had been a dream of mine, to play with an upright bass, which is just one of the coolest instruments there is. And that's sort of guiding my my journey right now. So that's a long-winded background. But the next goals are I want to continue doing this show. And I would love for like somebody like either VaynerMedia or someone like that who's like, we want to get into Germany, like or into music education or kid stuff, like some institution or company or cultural organization that's like or nonprofit or company that's got like needs to lower their tax burden and just like I could create a nonprofit so we could pay ourselves a salary, because there's nothing I would love more than to do this live show with Freddie 5 days a week and then gig on the weekends and play concerts on the weekends. Like that would be if those could be pillars and I could earn my daily bread and not have financial anxiety, that would be that. So the short answer is to be a living artist. That's the very short answer.
Amazing. Are you? I'm trying to think about this because now I'm starting to see your platform on TikTok growing. You obviously built a great audience on there.
Dude, I don't know what's going like. I got nothing. I don't know what's happening. If you like, it's so weird because music is so not like I can't explain any of that. I just create things that I like to create. I think if you did a pie chart of all of my TikToks and what they were about, the biggest piece of the pie would be having conversations with my son while he's pooping.
Speaking of conversations, and I'm going to get back to the whole platform thing. And really, my question was, how vital do you see communicating using the internet to get to your end goal of being a full-time?
It is incredibly important. Like I don't know. I guess I look at it this way. The internet is the CV, that is the resume. I told Freddie at the beginning when we started this, I said, listen, best case scenario, we do the show, we make our goal, it goes gangbusters, and some really good stuff happens, right? And the worst case scenario is we have 28 episodes, really 56, 28 German, 28 English, and we can shop that to kindergartens and cultural centers and whatever. That's the worst thing that can happen. Mm-hmm. And we get good and comfortable in front of the camera and being live. That's the worst thing that happens. And that's pretty good. So,
yeah, it's a win-win.
So the internet is the medium in many cases, and by necessity now, because I can't go out live, but it's there, it exists. Now I'm in the process of post-production so I can have all German episodes and all English episodes. If you go to our YouTube, it's a long episode where German's the first half and English is the second half.
Okay.
So I'm doing all that. But, there's another important component, which is getting on the phone and talking to people, right? Or writing, yes. Communicating with people, which yes. I, like with people I know I'm pretty good at. In some cases, I'm not as like if that's a thing in German on the phone, I'm good. Some people don't like talking on the phone, right? So it's really there. I think people have to strike a balance between putting your stuff out there is one thing, but forging relationships is quite a different thing. That said, by doing what I did and chatting with a nice woman named Ida, I forged a relationship there. And from her, I saw your content, and then she tagged you, and you know what I mean? So things like that form. And I like that the best because it's the intangibles that I love the most, at least about being a musician.
Absolutely.
I met my bassist at a Christmas market and we shared a hot wine, right? Like we had some hot wine and it was like, hey, you want to play bass sometimes? Yeah, sure. Cool. Right. And that conversation changed my life. So I think there's a mixture of, I think I'm sorry if I get off track. I get
No,
excited.
please, like you're preaching right now. I love everything you're saying because this, just so you know, why I want you to keep going. This is like one of the core reasons why I'm having this conversation with you live is so that people can see, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, at the end of the day, you put your message out there, whether it's in the form of music or form of cooking or form of mowing lawns. Like, you're gonna find people, the intangibles. The intangibles is worth more than I can even express on this episode right now. And that's what really gets me excited.
You
So
can't fit it into a matrix. You can't.
yeah.
And the other aspect of it is, for example, teaching my daughter's kindergarten class, right? It felt good, and I scratched that itch. You know, I'm not going to get too big in this, but there was a long period of my life I did not like myself. In fact, I might say I hated myself, and I didn't think I deserved good things to happen to me, and I didn't feel good. And when you're in that place, and I have deep empathy for people who are going through that, especially when you get curveballs happening like right now, when things are going wrong, when you
Right.
have a steady career, whatever it is.
Right.
I have deep empathy for that. But I had to learn who I am and what I loved, and that it's okay to be happy, and it's okay to love things, and it's good, and it's okay to try to do the things that make you happy, right?
Right.
So by scratching those itches, that led me to making decisions to do things that made me happier, and it also led me to people who do the things that make me happy, and relationships that it's incredible. Like it's incredible what happens when you follow that. That can be scary sometimes. And
No,
I think
absolutely.
again, I think again, I'm lucky having eaten it. You know, like, I don't want to cuss in your program, but having eaten doggy doo doo for so long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you fall on your face and get it. Like the first time I got booed hard, I was 18 years old. It was in my high school cafeteria. It was like
Man.
300 people, like,
Man.
boo. They were
Wow.
shooting a senior video. They're like, play something on your guitar. I was like, okay. And I did. It probably wasn't very good. I don't know if it was getting booed by 300 people bad, but it was probably not great.
It felt as if it was thousands, right?
Right. Fortunately, there was like there was no internet to go viral, which would have dug it in. But that said, even after that happened, and like I was like, that was bad, but I'm alive. I'm not in the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
dead. I'm not in jail.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it was uncomfortable and not pleasant, but I'm here. You know, so when we, at least for me, being able to, once you've taken a few in the face, Mike Tyson has a good saying: everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
I love that.
Once you get hit, once you've gotten punched in the face by life a few times, then I think maybe you're more willing to take these risks if they're risks. I mean, so some of it, like our friend Gary, how much of it is a risk? How much of it is just saying, I'm not going to watch Netflix anymore. I'm going to spend if you're a person and you spend any time consuming any show at all,
Right.
and call that 1 hour a week, right? And you've just got your one show, right? Well, that's 52 hours in a year. What can you do with 52 hours?
Right. Right.
You know,
people have to work it backwards. People have to break it all down into micro conversations with themselves, like the one you just did, because it makes sense.
Yeah. So, and again, I'm so grateful that Gary's out there in the world, and because he, anybody who's on the fence about doing anything, like, I would recommend, in addition to listen to Joe here,
I appreciate
it. Like we both follow a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. He provides, there is libraries of video information that you can find on the guy. His books are fantastic.
He's a walking university.
He is a walking university, and he will make your excuses go away quick. if you really listen. Like quick. As he likes to say, he will suffocate every one of them.
Every one of your excuses, dude.
Every one of them.
What you're saying really resonates hardcore. I really enjoyed you saying that, and this is a conversation I'm trying to like figure out how to put more out into the world, right? Because you're right. Like people who are watching Netflix, if they were to subtract that time out and put it into something that they're really trying to make happen, how different would life be for them? Maybe not necessarily like tangibly or in the physical aspect, but like intangibly, because what you were saying about I feel happier and I was able to make certain decisions that led me to people that are doing things that make me happy. Like that's all that I feel like that's way more valuable than putting yourself in a position out of sheer force or fear. Does that make sense? And so the thing that I'm really trying to articulate is that a lot of people aren't there yet, which is what I'm really starting to understand. I wasn't there years ago, and that's why I keep giving credit to Gary Vee, because he helped me look in the mirror differently, right? He helped me have different conversations in my mind to realize, like, hey, look, you have to reevaluate the conversations you're having with yourself in order to start making decisions differently. And so there was a moment in time where I literally was faced with myself in the mirror, having all the darkest thoughts on like what I wanted to do with my life, but realizing that number one, kids will change your life. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, but who am I going to be to my children if I don't start doing things that are really going to lead up to me being happy and me being
You're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to hate myself, and it's like
and you bring that home. And you
yeah,
bring that home, and that rubs
absolutely,
off on them.
big time. And I felt that happening, guy. I felt that happening with my career, you know, and I had to take a step back from that. And it was crazy. It's been kind of crazy times for me, but I'm finally, the reason I'm putting out the messages that you see me putting out into the world is because I'm finally at that place where the intangibles are really starting to catch up. Like I'm really feeling more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
That's great.
And I know I'm making decisions that are going to lead to things that are going to make not only me happy, but my entire family happy. So like, it feels really good. And I share that long story because I really appreciate what you're saying. And Yvette, who's one of my good friends from TikTok, she says, "This is your new bestie, Joe." Like, it's just crazy how this is episode number 27. I'm talking to you for the first time, but I'm like, damn, I feel like I've known you for a minute. Like,
it's a very comfortable conversation.
Yeah.
This is a very comfortable conversation. I hope one day you're in Indiana, right?
I'm in Indiana. Right.
I hope one day I can either come to Indiana or you can come to Germany. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, my goal is to travel overseas. I've been overseas when I was younger, I think around 15 or so, but didn't have the appreciation for it. And I want to go back now. Like I told you earlier, history's going to become this thing where I'm really, really fascinated by. And I would love to come out there and meet you in Germany, man.
Oh man, yeah, you got. I'll show you around. I'll show you around Nuremberg. No problem. That's great. I want to follow up on something you just said.
Yeah.
I think a key to, scratching that itch of happiness, taking that risk or taking the steps, however you want to look at it. I think another thing is contextually defining what happiness means to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if you asked me that question, what do you want? And I was like, I want to be Ed Sheeran, right? Not impossible. Not impossible. Maybe I got a puncher's chance at getting that kind of success. I don't know, but number one, it's not my goal. Like, yeah, I mean, I think everybody, whatever. I mean, every artist, every musician, like, I would love to play in front of thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000.
Yeah, everybody has that aspiration, right?
That's I mean, dang, man, like, good Lord, to see 100,000 lighters in the air going like that, like, get out of here. That would be so dope. Like, I saw this Lizzo lot. Like, I'm way.
Oh, I love
Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Creating.
Yeah.
I'm way behind on stuff, so I'm just getting into Lizzo now, and I'm watching.
Right? You're not alone. Me too.
Yo, you want to hear something funny? So my daughter's digging it too. We were blasting it while driving through Nuremberg, which is like kind of a conservative city, and I'm like doing the bird, right? And people are looking at us and just laughing. It was a lot of fun. But For those of you kids who don't know what the bird is, you need to look up Worst Day of the Time. Okay, that's on some Jungle Love. All right. So if we can just go on the way back machine, but to figure out contextual happiness.
Yes.
Right. You know, I like, if I, you know, for me, I would way rather be the Mr. Rogers, like me and Freddie be the Mr. Rogers of kids' music shows than Ed Sheeran. That makes sense. Like that age group.
That's
like,
a tweetable moment.
You know how cool? Do you have any idea how cool I would be if I got on Sesame Street with Freddie? Like that's like Tonight Show. I mean, cool. But if I got on Sesame Street, like my kids would be like, yo, my dad was on Sesame Street. Like, you know, like that's, and it's cool. My daughter is still young enough that it's like, she's not embarrassed by me.
Yeah.
So I got like, I think I have like 1 or 2 more years of that with her. We're like, that's cool. My son, he's 3, and I'm just like he's amazed that.
Yeah, right. The coolest guy on the planet. You're always gonna be that, man. I feel like it.
I don't know, man. Like I got a couple friends who are rock stars and friends who are tattoo artists, and their kids think they're losers, and you know, like I think it happens to a lot of us. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's that phase, but you know, again, earning my daily bread. You know, maybe owning an apartment or a house, and not worrying about retirement from music. That is that is sort of the definition that I'm working with to find my happiness, or living through my art. You know, what degree, if it blows up like gangbusters, and again, it's rock star level, cool. However, that's not what I'm shooting for. And I'm so tunnel vision right now in the process of doing this and getting better at the show with Freddie, so we can create better lessons, you know, interact better with the audience. How can we make it a more interesting live experience? What do we do to cut things up shorter so they're interesting for people to watch in 5-minute bits, all that stuff. You know, that's, you know, like Gary says, the clouds in the dirt. Balance that.
Absolutely.
But what are your clouds?
I respect it, and I'm inspired by what you're up to. 100%. Yeah.
I'm digging that. Like we seem to be on some similar wavelength, because you threw yourself into this as well. I feel bad because like I want to know more. I want to ask you a billion questions.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I mean, look, so this is like what I'm calling a part 1. I know we're gonna be able to, like, just based on these vibes, we'll be able to, you know, stay in touch, and I really can go as long as I want to on our show. Unfortunately, I want to get some stuff done. I'm in the salon.
Daddy stuff to do, man. Don't explain to me.
Well, they're still napping, so I'm lucky. But there's a couple of things I want to do on the work side. But I definitely want to, I want to link up again and have a conversation, you and I, and maybe do this again if you're available.
I love that.
But real quick for the audience, let them know one more time where they can find you, find your work. You said YouTube.
So youtube.com/anothermother.
Of course.
I lost your audio. Doggone it.
Are we good? Are we back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. I can't hear you, but I'm going to talk. I'll let you know. So youtube.com, we are Another Mother. Facebook, we're also on Another Mother. Guy Palumbo is on Facebook as well. I've got a YouTube channel, Guy Palumbo, but it's garbage. I need to update. I need to put some new vids on there. But if you really want to know what life is all about, holler at me on TikTok. I live on TikTok. That's where I have the most fun. Perfect, man. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Okay.
But I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for the invite. It was really just a pleasure to talk. I'm sorry if I was blabbing so much. It was really excited to speak to you. Love your vibe, and I'm looking forward to part 2. And thank you.
Cool, bro.
And much love to everybody who watched. Thank you for giving us some of your time. I know how precious time is.
Appreciate it, my guy.
Peace, my friend.
All right, peace. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Yep. All right, guys. Episode number 27 was a little wonky as far as like technical difficulties, but that was an amazing episode. Please go give my guy a follow on TikTok. That's where he's the most interactive, and also on YouTube.com/anothermother. I'm looking forward to having part 2 with him. It's funny because like since I'm meeting people for the first time on these shows, like I'm doing a lot of asking questions, and I want to get to a point where, and this is where it's becoming challenging in my mind. Like, how do I, like, let me give you where I'm at with my thoughts. Towards the end of that interaction, I wanted to share more context to him because he doesn't know much about me, and I've felt that energy from a couple of people, and I don't want to seem like I'm, passing off on their questions, which is why I'm trying to figure out the best format to deliver. Like, you guys already know about me for the most part, hopefully. But if you guys have any feedback as far as a format or questions that I should be asking those people, or anything that you feel would be entertaining to yourself or more valuable for you, let me know in the comments or just hit me up in the DM. As far as this goes, this is a wrap for episode number 27. Really appreciate everyone who's tuning in live and in the post. And I will see you on the other side, which is tomorrow morning. Please, this is going to be my first time asking this, or my second time maybe. Follow me on TikTok at Joa Tang. It's going crazy over there, and just sharing as much love as I can. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.